Then he sends me this video. And I recognize exactly where it is, and my mind is just blown. All right, everybody, Rob Ferretti, and you know I have that little side business we're trying, right? We're trying out renting out machinery like screeners. My partner in that also owns an excavating company, right? It all sort of works. It's a great thing. He does a lot of cool, big excavating jobs. I met them when they were doing my house, and he sent me a message when I was in Europe the other day, and he's like, hey, do you want to have a good video idea? I'm like, sure. Sounds good. What do you got? And I'm thinking he's putting like an underground swimming pool under a basketball court underneath a missile silo. I don't know what he's doing. He's doing something cool. And sure enough, he's like, sends me photos. And when the photos load, this is what happened. Gavin was picking it up, bringing it to somebody else. And somehow, and he still hasn't called me. I still don't know how, managed to flip it. Right? How does that happen? What do you do wrong? It's got a ball hitch, it's got the chains, it's not attached to your vehicle. Somehow it came sliding off his vehicle 2 miles down the road as soon as he was getting onto a highway that he didn't belong on to begin with. And it's upside down. And I just looked at him like, bro, what are you doing? So anyway, let's survey the damage. Obviously, it's not at the rental it's supposed to be at. We've already had the welder here. I'll show you what we're looking at. I think we broke off one of our safety chains. Not really a big deal. I have no idea. The only thing I can imagine is if you look at this, right? This is how a ball hitch works. This slides, and when this is up, you put the ball in, and then that locks it on top of the ball, right? There's a little, I don't know if you can actually see that, but when it locks in on top of the ball, it captures the ball. If you have a ball that's too small under there, which you shouldn't, then it won't grab onto the ball. This is bent, but not too bad. This is a pretty easy replacement. The reason I like this equipment is because it's really hard to screw up, right? Like it's a big piece of steel with some screens on it and a little Harbor Freight motor. So it's if anything goes wrong, it's pretty easy to replace. These are bent. Not the end of the world. We can hammer them back. We can cut them off. These ones really, they're just guide rails. They don't really do much. This is when you put the big stuff on top of it. If you look at the screens, the grates on top, they're a little dented up. Whoever had it last really was hammering on it, which is fine. And then we found out that a bunch of these were broken off. So I had a welder, Tyler had the welder come in and weld all these points to now reinforce it. The bends like here and there, I mean, it's silly stuff, right? It doesn't impact the operation, it impacts the look of it. But again, this is a rental unit. We'll keep it for a while, and once it gets too beat up, we replace it. But I mean, we've only had this running for a couple of months now, so flipping it over doesn't help. Otherwise, it doesn't look entirely bad. It's obviously, you can see the scrapes along the top. You see them up there? The scrapes along the top are from sliding upside down. This popped off, this screen. This was bent, but he straightened this out with his hand. And then we lost a spring back here. So we need to put a spring back there. So we got the spring in there. See, we got one spring there, one spring there, one spring up here, no spring down there. Other than that, it was a couple $100 for them to tow it. It's embarrassing, like the cops on that road know me, so to have my super screener upside down on a roadway where it doesn't belong, I think he was able to get out of it. I'm not taking any credit for that. He didn't even call me. But I think he was able to get out of it because it was a rental. So the guy's like, oh, this guy must have rented it. He didn't know he was actually dropping it off somewhere for me. And where I wanted them to drop it off was not by taking a highway that doesn't allow for trucks and trailers. Not by flipping it on its side. I don't know. Like everything that happened was just mind-numbingly stupid. But got damage wise, probably less than $1,000 to get this thing all sorted out. Whatever tickets he got, he deserved. And we'll get this thing up and running soon enough. But you think, like, you know what, let me get out of this exotic stuff. There's too many headaches. And then you allow for human error to introduce itself to any other business, and you get this. Rob Ferretti, thank you for watching. I'll keep you in the loop. See you next time.